Welcome back to Duds by Dell. I have a question for you. Have you been looking for a fantastically made leather jacket that is actually made here in the United States that is at least as good as Schott but costs less? Well, if the answer to any of that is yes, then this video is for you. And if you are not prepared with an answer, maybe this video is still for you after all, because Vanson makes incredible leather jackets, and I know that folks that follow this channel like to learn about leather jackets, so let's dig in. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Vanson C2, which is a classic motorcycle style jacket. You know, it looks sort of like the Schott Perfecto, although there are things that make it uniquely Vanson. So what's the deal with Vanson? Well, they have been making jackets in the United States for 50 years now. It's actually their anniversary this year. They've been doing some pretty cool promotional things to that effect, and it's been interesting to see what they come out with. I mean, for example, they've recently just did a collab with Aime Leon Dior. Aime Dior Leon. I'm mixing it up now. They do have a lot of kind of modern styles that they've been working, and especially some of their track styles seem to be pretty popular with a modern or streetwear style crowd. But they make a bunch of classic motorcycle jacket styles, everything from things that look like a Perfecto or something like that in that cross zip realm, to straight zip jackets that look like cafe racers, all the way up to heavy canvas jackets and a bunch of different other types of interesting styles, and some things that you can only find from Vanson. So they've been doing great things for a while now, and it seems like in popular culture they don't have the same degree of exposure as a brand like Schott. Let's talk about the Vanson C2, which is the jacket that I was able to have in hand recently, and was trying out actually for sizing for a project that I'm working on. And I learned something sort of interesting about the sizing, which I'm going to share when we get to the sizing part of the video. But first things first, this is a leather jacket. Let's talk about the leather. And so the kind of standard leather that a jacket from Vanson will come in is competition weight, cowhide. And this is a very robust leather. It is very stiff right out the box. It has a pretty clean finish, a very, I would say, tough finish. It seems like it's got a heavy top coat. The hide itself kind of shows some big pores and seems perhaps to have been corrected or sanded or something like that during the treatment process. Maybe that makes that top layer adhere to it better. I don't exactly know, but there is a somewhat artificial look to the finish because it becomes so uniform looking, especially when it's right outside the box. But a very robust leather, and meant to be protective in a fall, so that in a slide it has strong abrasion resistance. And this is a kind of leather that people who are racing motorcycles on tracks have suits made out of this leather, and then they have protective armor. This is a leather that seems like you could just like toss it on the ground, have a tank roll over it, and you pick the jacket back up, and it's gonna be basically just as fine as it was before you did that. I would say a note about the competition weight cowhide. This is a leather that has changed over time, and you will, if you do any digging, run into people talking about the good old days of the old competition weight cowhide and how it used to be awesome. And some people think it's not great now. Some people like it now. I feel like this is one of those things that anytime people get passionate about something, whether they're following it as a hobby or they're kind of nerdy about it, they're going to form some opinions. To me, it's a great leather. It's not an incredibly naturally beautiful leather, but it's great and it's functional and it has a lot of potential, like a blank canvas. Other things the jacket is made of besides the leather. So the C2 can come with a quilted nylon poly style lining that's a little warmer, or a rayon lining, which is a little less warm but leaves maybe a little room for layering. And the C2 that I got had the rayon lining. It's black, it breathes pretty good, and it is there. It's a durable material. There's not much more to say about the lining. And the hardware. Now, this is something I really like about this jacket, which is it's got all brass hardware. From a color standpoint, it's got this kind of shiny gold color to it that will change over time. But It is extremely robust, and you can just tell handling the zipper. For example, the teeth on these brass zips, they're so rough a little bit, you have to work it up. So even the zipper, we talked about the leather needing to break in, even the zipper needs to be broken in on this jacket. The snaps are all super heavy duty, and it's like working them and then ka-chunk, it snaps in, they need to be broken in a little bit. So all I'm saying is this jacket is going to be the worst it's ever going to be on day one, and will only improve and really pay dividends towards a lot of wear and a lot of abuse. And it can take that wear and abuse and come out looking awesome. So from a construction standpoint, the jacket is very well put together. It is neatly sewn with heavy duty thread. It's not going to be something you write home about when it comes to the beauty of that sew-manship. It's not like super finely put together. There's not French seams. It's just not that kind of jacket. But there is a beauty in the functionality. And in this way, it does remind me of the Schott jackets and their craftsmanship, which is, it's well put together. There's going to be no complaints. But it's not beautifully put together. There are some construction notes that really call to the fact that it is made for riding on motorcycles. For example, the sleeve ends, they fold over, and when zipped, are very tight against the wrist. They do a fantastic job of building out that wrist part. Really, and that kind of follows through with the construction in general. Well thought out, well put together, not beautiful, but it works really well. Now, how does that jacket fit on the body? This may sound kind of wild to you, considering I've just talked about how incredibly robust the materials are and how they really need to be broken in, and that day one will be the worst the jacket will ever be. Even from day one, the jacket is comfortable. And this is something special that Vanson does, which is that they know how to make a jacket out of these absurdly robust materials that still work well on the body and sit well across the shoulders, that allow motion and just wearability. The wearability for this jacket it's at the top of the charts. There are some ways that you can see this, some results of this kind of design perspective, where it has a bigger top area than you might expect for the tag size. It has bigger shoulders and definitely larger biceps and armhole area. And in general, the arms are also kind of bigger and longer than you might expect. But what it does result in is a jacket, like I said, that's very easy to move in. I would say for me, personally, the sleeves are just too long. I don't ride motorcycles. If I did, maybe I would wear gauntlets if I found that the sleeves were too short for the riding position. But these sleeves, even when fully outstretched, they're still a little extra length. I'm just kind of constantly running into this with all of the Vanson jackets that I have, is that they just really do long sleeves as part of the Vanson design language. And for my personal take, I'd really prefer like maybe an inch off the sleeves. The big biceps, I'm fine with. I think that this is part of what makes it a wearable jacket. And I think that oversized top zone is good, actually. Some people have complained about it whenever I posted some pictures about it or videos. I think that they're just wrong. I think it's a great look. And I think that some of that bigness settles down and also looks less big when the sleeves are less long and it's not pushing everything up. Another thing about the design here, which I didn't talk about, that kind of makes it uniquely Vanson and not just a Schott jacket, is the belt. So it is a biker jacket with a belt. The belt is completely removable. So if you really don't like the belt, you can just take it off. You'll still have the loops there, but it is a cleaner look if you're interested in that. And just a little bit of hardware for the belts, I think, looks pretty cool with those brass snaps that attach and the stitch work. I really do like that part of the design. Personally, for me, I like a jacket with a belt, but I could see making a choice here and there whether or not to have it on there. A really well put together jacket and a really well designed jacket. So as for fit, which size to get? This was a big question for me, and it's something where there must be some difference in the way that Vanson measures versus the way I do. But in any case, I originally tried out this jacket after looking at their size chart and their expected amount of ease, which is the extra space they build in for a body within a jacket. And I ordered a size 40, which is my typical size, and it was really too big, like much too big, big enough that I could have probably had multiple beefy layers between myself and the jacket, and it would have been still easy to move around in it. So for this jacket, me being 5'9", 175 pounds, and just over a 40-inch chest, which is a very kind of average size, very much in the middle, and I almost always take a US medium for my sizes, or US 40. The 38 is a much better size for me and really fits like I expected a 40 to fit. So if you are looking for the right size for you, a good rule of thumb will be go down one from your standard size, unless you really want to wear like a bajillion layers. Now let's talk about versatility. And I think this is a thing that turns a lot of people off from Vanson. And that's why, I don't know, sometimes it feels like versatility or styling a jacket is best just viewed. And I don't always know what to say when I'm talking about versatility with jackets. But I'll say for Vanson is that these jackets are very much intended from a design standpoint and construction standpoint, as I have said, as tools for motorcycle use. And they obviously look like that. They look like something intended to be on a motorcycle. And so for some folks, they get turned off by that and they think it's too much of a biker look. And I do receive a lot of comments where folks say they like biker styles, or they think the jacket's cool, but they're too old to wear that kind of style, or they don't ride motorcycles, so they would feel like it's cosplaying or something like that. And I have two big points here to make to that, which is one, if you like it, wear it. If you like it, wear it. It's very simple. Just who cares? And two, that kind of made for the bike only vibe is especially strong when a jacket is new, and it does go away as the jacket is worn in. And as you build stories with this jacket or this style of jacket, or heck, if you buy used and the stories are already kind of there, it can reduce that I'm here to ride a motorcycle look if you want to do that, if you want to reduce that. And I do think that can open it up for folks, and just in general for how to wear something. Wear it in. Almost anything looks, when we're talking like workwear and these heavy duty type things, almost all of it looks its worst when it's new. Like a new, very new pair of selvage denim, and the indigo has not faded out at all. That's the worst it's ever going to look. And it's the exact same, it's a directly translatable point to a jacket like a very strong biker vibes jacket from Vanson. So wear it in. It will go with basically anything. It's a biker jacket. It looks awesome. So let's talk about cost. So this jacket, this is pretty amazing. Made in America and comparable to a Schott jacket. It's also made in, the Northeast in the United States. And the C2 goes for about $750. Whereas like a Schott 618, which is pretty comparable, goes for $915. So it's a $175 difference. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And I'll also say that Vanson does have sales. 10 or 15% off sales are not that uncommon with Vanson. So you could add another $70 to that. I mean, very quickly you see that you can achieve a less expensive jacket by a pretty big percentage here. Even buying new directly from Vanson, then you can easily do so from Schott. And so that's a pretty significant savings. Is it still a chunk of change? Yes, of course it is. But it's an awesome jacket. Whether it's the price or the cultural presence or the biker vibes that people stay away from, I don't know. But I think people are really missing. And I think that this jacket at the price of Vanson is totally worth it. And kind of surprising that it's the price that it is, I would say, actually. Now, what am I going to do with this jacket? Well, as a matter of fact, and this is kind of funny. Folks that follow my community tab at all, you already know this. I made this review before, but my microphone battery died. And I recorded that last week. I've actually already returned this jacket to Vanson. And it's not because I don't like it. I think it's awesome. But because I'm working on a project with Vanson to make a C2 for me to sell on the Duds by Dell shop. And so just selling the C2 itself that Vanson already sells, that's not very Duds by Dell now, is it? And what I'm hoping to offer is something that is not already out there, and that maybe can appeal to some folks that are looking for a jacket in a really sweet leather and maybe some different design features that I'm trying to get. Stay tuned, because I don't exactly know which design features will be a go until the prototype is made. And so actually, I believe this week, fingers crossed, y'all, because there's already been a delay of about 2 to 3 months. The height that I'm trying to get is supposed to be arriving for me to send to Vanson to have them make a prototype size 38 for me. That's why I've been trying these sizes. And the next video and post that you see from me about Vanson C2 is going to be the prototype in hands to show it off, and maybe see if it's something that will interest you or someone you know. So if you want to be amongst the first to hear about that, I would strongly encourage you to sign up for my newsletter. It's on my website. You scroll down at the bottom, you put your email in there. Really, the only announcements that go out through that email are going to be things related to new products, so people don't miss out on product launches if you're interested in that. Thanks for sticking along for my opinion and thoughts on this honestly incredible jacket from Vanson. And if you have any questions about it, hit me up. I love to chat about jackets. That's why I have the channel. So I'll see you down in the comments.